You're listening to the Buy Land, Live Well podcast. Welcome in. I'm Derek Ham. Enjoy the show. We have a lot of fun with this podcast, and we always have great guests. But I tell you, we had an opportunity to be at the Houston Safari Club convention, and we're able to set up a booth there and set up a podcast there, and we had some amazing guests, and we're going to share those with you. We normally, have guests that we talk about everything outdoor related, real estate related, ranch. We obviously, at Ruple Ranch and Land, we sell ranch real estate. So that's our primary focus, but not our only focus. The outdoors in general, hunting, conservation, everything that surrounds it. But I tell you, these are some great interviews to listen to. And I hope you enjoy listening and watching them as much as I enjoyed being a part of them. Thanks very much. Hi, welcome to the Buy Land, Live Well podcast. This is Derek Ham, and we're recording today from the Houston Safari Club Convention. We're going to have some guests on today. We're going to have some amazing guests on today. But first, I wanted to bring sort of the, the moniker, the name of the Ruple podcast, Garrett Ruple. Garrett and I met probably, 7 years ago? 6 years ago? Something like that, yeah. And I was with another brokerage, another ranch brokerage, and we sat down at a restaurant, met, and he told me then, he said, we're gonna work together one day, and that came to fruition. I want to talk a little bit before we get into the convention and why we're here and what that's all about, a little bit about Ruple Ranch and Land. Two things that I would say about it, and I'll let you expand on that. Is I think we're two things. I think we're a boutique ranch and land brokerage with incredible personal service, with the backing of Compass, the largest residential brokerage in the country.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one thing that separates us from a lot of ranch brokerages is that most of us come from other industries. Like you come from you run your own business, a construction background. I came from an oil and gas background, worked for a Fortune 500 company. And to just have seen how other businesses do things, and then came into the ranch brokerage where, compared to other industries, it seems a little bit behind in terms of technology and business processes and that kind of thing. And so I think we're taking steps like joining Compass to kind of put ourselves ahead from a technology standpoint and just putting our name out there and casting a wider net than a lot of others can.
Right.
We've got developers working on a system for us to kind of help us interact with our buyers better and just be more efficient and that kind of thing. Find listings that other people can't by searching MLS or land.com or some of these individual websites. Those are the type of things we're focused on to kind of set ourselves apart right now. So.
Right. I think, from the outside looking in, before I was even a part of Ruple, I could tell the biggest difference between Ruple and some of the larger brokerages is that the customer service, the relationships. I don't want to say customer service sounds like we're working out of a Walgreens or something.
Right.
It's not like we're saying hey, thanks, appreciate it. It's a relationship. This is a relationship business.
Right.
And I'd say, like 90% of my clients, it's clients' friends.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
you become friends with them, and that's kind of why I got into it, and I feel like that's probably why you got into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Is the relationships you get with people that are looking for property, looking for ranch land, looking for that, that American dream.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but continuing the relationship, taking it, several steps forward from that.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. You and I and all of our agents are outdoors men. We like to hunt and fish. We grew up doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. And our clients are too. And so we have a lot in common with these people. And by default, you just end up being friends with a lot of them. I mean, coming to the show is a good example. Like my favorite part is we get to see these guys that we built relationships with over the last almost decade of coming to the show.
Right.
And it's great. It's just about the relationships.
Right, right.
We do a lot of marketing, and the relationship building is the best thing we do.
Absolutely.
In terms of marketing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, we were talking about this the other day too. We definitely do some larger propies.
Yeah.
We can handle that. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, give us the biggest one you got.
For sure.
We're going to cover it.
Yeah.
We're going to get you in Houston Business Journal,
Right.
whatever needs to happen. And, but that's not our complete focus.
Right.
I mean, we'll help somebody that's looking for a few acres, of course.
Yeah.
To me, that's some of the smaller ones. They may be even tougher, but they're the most satisfying because you got people that, man, they're first time they've owned just a few acres, and it is to them it's just the most amazing thing in the world.
Right. You mentioned customer service. We brought Jason Ruple, my cousin, into the business just because we needed help and kind of more hands on deck, but also because Jason comes from a customer service background. Like, he worked for a landscaping company, took it from 4 employees to 110, and his focus was just customer service.
Right.
And so that was why we brought him in, and he's made a huge impact, and that's kind of his focus in our business now, which has been huge for us, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I think the first day I met him, I thought, you know what? Bad move.
Yeah. Me too.
Bad move, man. I don't know what you're thinking.
It's a shame he's not here to hear you say that. I wish he was.
I will hug it out later. Yeah. But you know what I mean? You meet the guy, and you're like, wow, man, this guy, I mean, he just exudes 2 things, confidence and professionalism. Right. Well, I guess more than 2 things, but he's just he's such a down-to-earth person. Yeah. And that's Ruple at its core. Right. Everybody is down-to-earth, patient, professional. Right. We're there to the end, we want to make it happen and do it the right way.
Yeah, and Jason's a good example of what we talked about earlier. Like, Jason came from a different industry, but all of the stuff he learned and did in that industry applies to what he's doing here. But Jason and, our dads grew up farming together. Right. And we hunted together and fished together as kids. Like, he knows ranching in the outdoors as much as anybody. And so to bring him in was just such a natural fit.
Sure. Well, yeah, and the culture of Ruple, I don't want to say it's a brotherhood like Yellowstone. We get branded and everything, but
you didn't get the brand yet.
Oh, dude, no. I got the tattoo.
Right.
But you know what I mean. I mean, it's a want to be a part of and want to continue to be a part of and grow it. And that comes from the top down. Yeah. You'll have to take some credit for that. I know you're not the one to take credit for things, but you got to take credit for that, right?
I don't know if it comes from me, but like, we hire new office staff, and Jason and I are interacting with those people, every day. And to us, like, they're family from day one. Right. It's like, once you're in the door, well, now you're part of the family.
Right, so, right, yeah.
And we feel that way about our agents and a lot of our clients, too. You know?
No, absolutely. So the convention, that's kind of that's a prime example, I think, of the relationships that we created. Number one, it's a great convention, and like you said, we get to meet people and Houston Safari Club, but everybody's just so amazing to talk to and so resourceful and all that. But at our table last night, who was sitting at the table? Well, I can't call them clients anymore. I had friends. Yeah. Even though we've sold or helped them buy and sell 3 properties. Right. The Lassiters are people that are just they become friends.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. I sat next to them last night, and their comments about you were more about, Derek's a great guy, and he's a great friend, and he's just become, someone we trust. It wasn't about he's a great ranch broker. Right. I mean, even though obviously they think that, it wasn't. It's more about the relationship.
Yeah. As far as real estate goes, I'm dumb as a bag of hammers, but the relationships that I got going on.
Right. Well, me too.
No, I'm kidding. No. We study hard. Yeah. I feel like if there was a graduate course for, minerals, I would have passed by now. My gosh. Right. I mean, we still use attorneys and everything. You have to. For sure. But, man, it's a interesting world when you get into all those, the water rights, all that stuff. Yeah, definitely. That people try and retain or get or whatever that we have to know.
Yeah, well, I think that's another thing. Like, we try to bring these attorneys in that are specialized in oil and gas or water rights or whatever, because I may do a deal that has some water right aspect to it, but maybe it's a year between that one and the next one that focuses on that. And a lot's changed in that year, and also a lot, fades from your memory. And so having those guys come in and train us on a regular basis is a big deal for me.
Yeah, that last part I think applies to me because, the fading memory, my gosh.
Right.
We've gone through some that I will never forget,
right.
But, we always come out on the end.
Yeah,
on top in the end is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But some are harder than others.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if the client is getting what they need and what they want, then everybody wins.
That's right. Yeah, I totally agree.
And that's what we're about.
Yeah.
So, but back to the convention. We've this year. Houston Safari Club convention moved from downtown back to the Woodlands. I had come here to the Woodlands as just as a fan. I wasn't in the industry when they were here, and I know you guys, you had a booth here years ago.
Yeah.
Do you see? I know I see a lot of difference from downtown to here. Now I'll ask you if you see the same thing, but to me. For use of a better phrase, the atmosphere, the vibe, I'll just say it since all the kids are.
Yeah.
But the vibe is more, relaxed. People just seem a little less stressed.
Yeah.
Except maybe Joe Beats are, but that's just the way he operates.
Right.
He's got to, right?
He has to be.
The executive director. But yeah, it's just a different feel out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think I'm more relaxed because I don't have to drive in downtown Houston. So that alone is worth it.
Imagine that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, that alone. Yeah, on the parking. Hey, give us $25 for 25 minutes or whatever it is. But it is. I think it is. I think with the exhibitors that I've talked to, good show. It's smaller than what we had last year.
Yeah.
But I think that, talking with everybody I've talked to, it's only going to get bigger here.
Yeah.
And who knows where we'll go from there.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Dallas moving to Atlanta, that could generate some more activity here because people aren't, it's closer and easier, more convenient, that kind of thing. But, yeah, I think the feel here has been really great.
Mm-hmm.
I like this a lot better. It's just easier to get in and out of. I think people are more likely to come here just because they don't have to drive to downtown.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do like the fact that the exhibitors have felt like, when I've walked around with my badge, Safari Club, board member on there, they see it and they don't have a problem talking to me and telling me, hey, this is fantastic. Maybe we try this next year. Maybe we do this. So, I think there's a lot of feedback that we've been getting that is positive and constructive, but good.
Yeah, sure.
I haven't got anybody yet that's yelled at me and
said, not yet.
What do you think you're doing or whatever?
Yeah.
Because I think a big reason is because the people that are here right now they're vetted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not you're not going to see. I won't mention names, but some guy that is a ambulance chaser, attorney or something. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. It does seem like the people who are here walking the aisles are here like for a specific reason. They're looking for a certain kind of hunt. They want to see their outfitter they've been with before.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people here, we've probably got more ranch buyer seller leads at this show than we have downtown. Just seems like a good crowd.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think it's a, sheer number of people. Maybe not, but the people that are serious about, looking for these things and finding out more about what Houston Safari Club is about, and what the convention's about.
We've sure enjoyed being a part of it over the last 8 or 9 years.
I was gonna say it's probably been at least 8 or 9.
Yeah,
there should be like a plaque or
I think so. I agree with that.
A pen or pocket knife. Or
you have credentials. Maybe you can make that happen.
I'll see what I can do. I'll put it before the board and see what I can get done.
Yeah,
we'll get you some. Yeah, we'll get you an engraved pencil for sure.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good enough.
Yeah. Well, what else can we talk about for a minute? I know, the change that we had from when I started until now with Ruple.
Right.
I don't want to say that it was just like some amazing step that, we jumped off a cliff and
Right.
then all this stuff, because it hasn't felt that way.
Sure.
It's still gradual. We're still able to take care of from the biggest client to
Right.
the person that's looking for the
Yeah.
small acres. Do you see? I mean, there's still a lot of Texas we got left to
Yeah.
get into and clients to help. But do you see Ruple moving outside of Texas at some point?
Yeah, I do, and that was one of the considerations when we looked at joining Compass. Was they give us the capability to make that transition easier. They've got brokers in most of the states that we would look at going into.
Right.
So we're kind of kicking that around right now. I mean, we do have a lot of growth left in Texas.
Yes.
So we're trying to kind of prioritize, like, what do we focus on here, and then can we do that at the same time?
Right.
And then put a timeline and some goals around it and make it happen. But Compass, it hasn't changed who we are. It's given us tools to be better at what we do. I think, like I said, the ranch brokerage business is kind of behind the times to some extent in the way they do things. And Compass is helping us correct that in our company.
Right, right.
And they've given us resources like the public relations aspect, where we can take a listing that's got something interesting and get it run in the business journals,
Right.
overnight, and,
Right.
and get publicity that we couldn't have otherwise.
Right.
Have relationships we just couldn't build.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and when we started talking to Compass, my thought was like, I don't want to do this. We're a small boutique company. I want to keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the first meeting, and my idea was also like, we'll look at their technology and we can probably build it ourselves.
Right.
And the first meeting I had was like, well, we can't build it ourselves. And they spent over $1 billion doing it.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to where they are now, they'll be 20 years ahead of us. And it's, just from the word. So.
Right. I think, there's a lot of brokerages that are kind of behind on the technology side of things, and that's definitely an advantage for us.
Yeah.
But again, it's but we have the product and we have the people. It's not like we're pushing something we can't do.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we're not pushing something out there that it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
But we can't deliver it, because
sure.
we can definitely deliver.
Absolutely. And I think Compass is, they're the number one high-end residential brokerage in the country, but those clients are the same people that we interact with.
Right.
And so we're a natural fit for Compass as well. And
Right.
so they're looking to us to lead them. They don't know farm and ranch. They're high-end residential technology company, and so they're helping us to build this out the way we'd like to see it built out, which
Yep.
we're excited
Yep.
about. So.
Yeah. No, the idea of it, when you talked to me about it initially, of course, my initial thoughts were, oh darn,
right.
big organization or whatever. But the fact that we are still, the same. We're the same
Right,
boutique.
yeah.
We got bigger toys now.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
So it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, it really has been. I mean, we have, our marketing is still for the most part done in-house. And so we have a lot of control over what that looks and feels like. And so that's been a plus. But they have resources that we can tap into on that side too. They've been great. So.
So to ask you another question that has absolutely nothing to do with business, because I'm sure somebody's snoring somewhere watching this. I heard you like bird hunting more than you like deer hunting. Is that true?
It's true. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I love quail hunting. It's my favorite, probably outdoor activity. I just, we don't have the quail population we used to in South Texas, so it's harder to find, but man, I love it. Yeah. Definitely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had no idea, but I talked to some guys at the Quail Coalition. So I think we need to talk to them some more if that's what you're into.
Yeah, I would love to get involved with that more. We grew up deer hunting, but it was more out of a necessity. Our dads were peanut farmers, and deer also like peanuts.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of predator control, and turns out the deer were the predators.
Deer predators. Yeah.
But anyway, I do love quail hunting. I did with my dad a lot growing up, and it was something we got to do often, and a lot of great memories doing that. So,
well, maybe I should give you that crazy dog we got.
Yeah, I've got a crazy dog of my own. I might trade you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
The 1-for-1. I don't know who'd be worse off, but no, God, I love Draco. We have a Deutsch Drahthaar.
Yeah.
And he's a maniac, but God love him. That's all he wants to do is do.
Yeah.
So.
I got a Boykin Spaniel because I decided I was going to do more bird hunting. I've got 3 daughters under the age of 9, so there's not a lot of free time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we buy this dog, and now he's a great bird dog that is surrounded by 3 little girls all day, and, he doesn't get a lot of bird hunting done, but he's got it in him.
He gets ribbons in his hair and his toenails painted.
Yeah, and he wrestles a lot.
Oh, boy.
It's one of those deals. Neither one of us get to hunt birds as much as we'd like to. So,
yeah. No, I just wanted to ask that because I was kind of surprised because we hadn't talked about bird hunting much.
Yeah.
I started off bird hunting more than deer hunting with my father, and he had. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
He had a lease in Eagle Lake.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of duck hunting, a lot of goose, that kind of thing. So,
right.
But yeah, that's the point. Texas has got so many things to offer as far as hunting. The different regions of this state are so varied, and I have people that come to me that they're looking for something specific. They think they are.
Yeah.
And then, I say, well, wait a minute. Well, let's talk about this area a little bit. And they're why? It's like, well, because it's da-da-da-da-da. And people, they don't know.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we bring too is a knowledge of not just certain regions.
Yeah.
Not the Piney Woods, not just South Texas, not just hill country, but we've got people that can cover the whole state.
Yeah, an interesting story about that. I had a guy come in, this was several years ago, had a ranch in McMullen County, and he lived in Tyler, and he said, look, I want to sell this ranch down here, but I need to find a place that I can grow big deer or has native big deer, but there aren't any except McMullen County and South. And I was like, well, let me look into it. So I started doing a Boone and Crockett study and find Shackelford County that has as good or better, quality whitetail, South Texas. And so anyway, that ended up being a place for the guy who bought a ranch. So it worked out well. But we worked the whole state,
I had somebody looking east, and they're looking east, and then I said, no, there's some places west,
right.
Lavaca County, good deals there to be had. It's either super flat or there's tons of oaks.
Right.
We found a place with tons of oaks, done deal.
Yeah, that's right.
So... Well, good deal. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of a lot more guests here today. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great weekend. Hope everybody has come out or can come out. Anything that we can do for you as far as ranch and land, we're ready for it. I only have one worry about this podcast, and that is I did see I think it was an ad, and it was subtitled, and the subtitle picked up RuPaul instead of Ruple.
We should probably clarify that now.
Yeah. So we're not
different
RuPaul Ranch and Land. As much as I'm not, hey, whatever, right?
Yeah,
RuPaul is a great person.
Sure.
I'm sure.
Sure.
But no, it's Ruple. If RUPLE. Not RuPaul.
That's right.
So
that's right. I'm glad you clarified that.
We'll get that right. Yeah. I wanted to verbally clarify that. So again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for what you do. Let's carry on and we'll bring in the next guest here in a little bit. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, it's the Buy Land Live Well podcast. I'm Derek Kim, and that was Mr. Houston Garrett Ruple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Derek Ham. Welcome to the Buy Land, Live Well, Ruple Ranch and Land podcast. I'm here at the Houston Safari Club Foundation Convention, and I've got with me today, several people, but probably one of the most important people in this convention is Mr. James Lofton, who took on the responsibility, the hard work, the effort that goes into being the chairman of this convention. James, welcome.
Well, thank you, Derek.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I feel humbled to be called one of the most important people.
I would say you were, most definitely. So we had a little bit of a change this year.
We had a big change.
Yeah. We'll just say that. It's a big change. But, we moved from downtown to the Woodlands, which we've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
Had great success here. I'll say no one misses the parking from downtown, the traffic.
Or the walking around after hours.
Right, yeah. This is a much more friendly venue. We'll say that.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. And the response has really been great. I haven't heard any negative response. Everything has been positive. They love the atmosphere here. I even got some comments yesterday that I found surprising. People said, even from the moment they walked through the lobby, whether they're sitting in the bar or walking through the foyer, the energy just felt different. It just felt a lot better.
Right. Yeah, I should also mention it. So James and I both serve on the board, and I feel like just walking around and talking to people, the vibe, if you will, is what the young people say. It's good. You walk around, everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. And, it's not just a convention. We're here to be a resource for people. And I think the exhibitors here, they understand how much we appreciate them being here. And
yes, absolutely. In fact, I was just having a conversation with one of our longtime exhibitors, and he was just telling me how much happier, he is, being back here. And, of course, he has two young boys, and, the energy for them, too, and making sure that we're providing an atmosphere for them as exhibitors to be at a place where we can bring in the right people that can, really, take a strong interest in looking at going to Africa or Europe or wherever else that may be.
Right. Right. It's one of the things I've noticed in other conventions that I might go to that, some of the people just don't fit, and they're just, I guess, I don't know, they're in there for whatever reason, but everyone here has been, I don't want to say vetted. Everyone here has been a part of the convention for years, and there is a wait list to get in, and I think we're going to be able to, what do you think? You're going to be able to expand next year a little bit?
We are looking very closely at that. There's some opportunities that we see on the horizon that are going to create, I think, a much bigger demand. And so we're already exploring. We just moved into the Woodlands Marriott here in the Woodlands.
Right.
And we were very happy with the way things played out this year. But before the doors even opened, the demand, some of the pent up potential demand is already pushing us to explore. All right, what else can we do to expand the show next year? And so I think we have some great ideas, and I think there's a very strong chance we're going to do that.
Good. So I mentioned how integral you are to this convention. Obviously, you're the chairman. But so what made you say, hey, I want to throw my hat in the ring. I want to try this. I want to do this thing. Because I know. I don't know firsthand, but just watching everything that goes into it, it's a heck of a job. Right?
There's a lot of moving parts. And I'll say this. I'm extremely grateful. We have such a tremendous staff. They really take a lot of the burden, off this position.
Sure.
Doing a lot of the detail work. In fact, I sat in a meeting and just, with the hotel preparing for this and seeing the amount of detail, most people don't even think about.
No.
Something as small as how many trash cans do you want?
Right.
And where? That's not something you would think about.
Right. Right.
But it's important to make sure you have a good show. All those little details and yeah, it is. It's a big challenge, but it's a tremendous honor.
Well, for me personally, thank you for taking that on. I think you're a great person to have in this position, yeah, I hope that it's been satisfying for you. I know, and tonight we've got the big gala.
Absolutely.
Which
this is the big party.
I say big because it is big. It's going to be big. Everybody's going to get dressed up, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have the auction, and
we still have tickets available.
Well, then maybe they'll be sold here quickly.
Yes, I hope so. It's just it's a great chance for people to come out, and sometimes it's nice to kind of get fancied up,
right? Right.
You know, take your wife out and let her get really dressed up. And,
Right.
You know, and you get into an atmosphere that not only is supporting a great cause and helping to raise money for, you know, conservation and educating and recruiting our new youth hunters and protecting our hunters' rights, those things that we really love to do. But you're around a great crowd of people,
right?
You know, that share similar values, share similar interests, and we're all here to do a great thing, and
right.
You know, and that's really nice, you know, to get to have it. Of course, you know, it's always great to see all the old friends, meet some new friends. You know, we laugh, we catch up on stories, and it's hard to capture that many other places.
I agree.
It's almost like a family reunion, but you know, with a lot of extended family, if you will, a lot of friends.
I mean, I feel like, you know, we're big enough to be able to offer, you know, guidance, help, whatever that people need as far as, you know, hunting, things like that go. But, you know, we're big enough to do that, but we're also small enough to feel like, hey, you know, you can get personal and, like you said, socialize, get to know people. You know, everybody is, like you said, like-minded. They all want the same thing, and it's just a fantastic thing to be a part of. I couldn't be happier.
I'll circle back to something you said earlier, sure. Derek. We were talking about some of the exhibitors, and you were trying to be nice about it and saying, well, you know, the exhibitors are kind of vetted. You know, they are. Yep. They are. You know, one of the things that we want to provide our attendees and our club members is, you know, one of the benefits of the club is you got a bucket list item. We want you to find that bucket list item. We want you to be really happy with that hunt. And so as a club, you know, over 50 years now, we've been able to find those people that can meet that demand and provide an excellent experience, which is important. We don't want someone to come and get an experience, and, you know, at the end of the day, it's not really what they wanted. We want it to be great.
Right.
And, yeah, we've got lots of members. Doesn't matter what you want to do, where you've been, or where you want to go. Somebody has done it. Somebody knows a great outfitter that can help you do it. And tell you the little details that you need to be prepared for. So, you know, I think that's a very strong part of our club. And look, we're all happy to talk about it.
Right.
You know, I've been talking about, you know, the hunts I took this past year, and walking by, and guys are grabbing me. Hey, can you come over here and tell this guy about your hunt last year and show him the pictures? And of course, we all like to do that. We all like to be able to brag and share a little bit.
Right, but that's invaluable information, because you know, early on, many years ago, I went on a hunt, and I didn't check them out. I didn't know, you know, and I didn't know who to ask, and so it didn't end up being such a great experience.
Yeah, I've had some of those too.
But you know, here it's like I can ask you. You're right. There's somebody for everything. I was asking about an elk hunt earlier in the year, and I probably got, I don't know, 15, 20 people that either emailed me or text me and said, you know, this is a good one, that's a good one, you know, and being a part of that, just that network, knowing that, you know, your money is going to the right place with the right people, you're going to get the right experience, you're going to get what you want. Do you want horseback? You want, you know, spot and stock? What do you want? And you'll get it. So I think that's a huge part. And just the variety here. I mean, next to us is, you know, this outfitter represents an outfit in Macedonia. Right? And then I got New Zealand across from me here. And then, you know, I got South Africa over there. So, you know, there's something for everybody.
Yeah, everything from leopards and Cape buffalo to ibex, and it doesn't matter what you want. You're gonna find it here.
That's right.
And that's awesome. And, you know, and we mentioned earlier a little bit about the gala. You want to find some awesome hunting opportunities?
Yes, indeed.
Look at that auction list.
Yes, indeed.
And for those of you who are listening that can't make it here in person, you can go to onlinehuntingauctions.com. You can find our auctions. I mean, we've got some really unique things. For example, the state of Oregon donated a Rocky Mountain goat hunt.
That doesn't happen.
A hunt, but a tag that allows you to go anywhere in the state. There are very few of these tags.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'll tell you how special this is. I haven't looked at it this morning. That tag was already over $60,000 yesterday.
Wow.
So, that tells you there's some really special items here, and and it's not all things like that, but we've got hunts to Africa, New Zealand, and Argentina, and Europe, Spain, guns. Gunworks has given us one of their premier rifles, 100% donation. We've got our president's rifle. Man, have you seen it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Monica did a good job.
That thing, it's a Blaser, beautiful wood. Custom engraving on it. It'll designate it's going to be one of a kind with our Houston Safari Club Foundation logo, 300 Win barrel with an optic, a 375 barrel with an optic, and a thermal.
And a thermal.
Wow. That's an incredible package, and so that's one that if you're really a gun guy. And you probably need to add another one to your collection.
That would be the one.
Yeah. This is certainly one to consider.
So you mentioned you mentioned what the price point is already on that tag at $60,000. So I would urge people to go to our website and look at where this money is going.
Oh yes.
And understand that, and I think a lot of people do that are watching or listening, but to understand the programs that this benefits. Youth programs, scholarships, conservation.
Yeah, and we tell people all the time, we're here to raise money to turn around and give it away.
Exactly.
To give it away on behalf of collectively, us as a group, because we can do a lot more collectively than we will as individuals, and we can make those significant impacts. And let's face it, there's some of these things that we end up supporting that as an individual you may not ever know about.
Right.
You may not be able to vet. And just like we're vetting exhibitors, we vet these grant opportunities, and and everything from conservation efforts here in Texas. We just did a grant out on the Katy Prairie for restoring some waterfowl habitat out there, to efforts in Africa. One of the things I was blessed with this past September was to get to go and see firsthand one of the rhino reintroduction projects that we helped contribute money to. And this was in an area that the rhinos had been poached out 25 years before. The village elders were in tears when those rhinos were brought in. Wow. Houston Safari Club helped make that happen.
Yeah.
And I say we made it happen. Our members,
our
contributors, the people who are giving money at the auctions. That's what allowed this to happen.
Right.
And collectively, I see a sign that says Houston Safari Club. I'm like, man, that's me.
Right.
That's me and my friends.
Right.
Those are the impacts we make.
And that's exactly right. That's the point I really want to make, is the impact that those dollars make to locally and globally. That's what we're in it for.
And not just international. I'll bring something back close to home.
Yep.
We support a lot of youth hunters right here in the state of Texas, both through a state of Texas program called the Texas Youth Hunter Program, as well as through our own efforts as a club. Getting to take kids who have never been hunting to get to experience that outdoors, and that hunting, and putting their own meat on the table, and learning that lifestyle that we love.
Right, that otherwise they wouldn't have an opportunity to do. So
it'd be very difficult.
Well, James, I appreciate your time so much. So for the rest of the day today, we've got, I think, another 9 people that are come on. Craig Boddington's going to call in.
Oh, awesome.
We've got Outfitter of the Year that's going to be on, Conservation of the Year, a few other exhibitors. Monica Williams, the president.
And she's great too, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's fantastic. So, again, thanks, and appreciate what you do. I will see you tonight. Good luck the rest of the day.
Thank you, Derek.
All right, thanks again. Hi, this is Derek Ham. Hope you enjoyed both those interviews with Garrett Ruple and James Lofton, 2 finer men you will not meet. It was a pleasure to have them on, and I also wanted to mention the next show is also going to be from the Houston Safari Club Convention. The guest will be Monica Williamson, who is board president, and also Seth the Hunter. Sorry, that's his dad. We're actually going to have Aiden the Hunter Stokes. His father we just call Seth. Anyway, going to be another great show, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Please tune in, watch, listen, however you can do it. But I would also ask if you could give us some suggestions, any suggestions about subjects that you'd like to hear about, people you'd like to have interviewed, whatever you can come up with. We'll try and do it. Okay. So again, appreciate it. Appreciate the time. Look forward to the next one. Thanks again.